Hey everybody, welcome to your horoscopes for the week. These horoscopes are for the week ending July 4th, 2015. For those of us in the United States, that would be our Independence Day. So I hope you guys have a fantastic holiday next weekend and make it a safe one. Don't do anything too terribly stupid or anything, because you want to have fun, but you don't want it to be the worst mistake of your life. I also want to say a quick happy anniversary to the hottest man in the world, Mr. Drummer Dave, sitting behind the camera there. We'll be celebrating this week 20 years of Bruce awesomeness, which is pretty amazing considering we were pretty young when we started and pretty stupid. We haven't killed each other and we're still in love after 20 years. That's definitely a plus. So happy anniversary to you, darling. We're going to go ahead and get started with the horoscopes for this week, and as usual, we're going to get started with Aries. There's a lot going on for you Rams this week, and we're going to start with the difficult aspect and move into the positive aspect that sort of counterbalances the craziness, and we're going to start with the square between Uranus and Pluto, which by the end of the week is going to be a T-square as the Sun and Mars take their place in this aspect for a couple of weeks. It's going to get a little bit rough there, as it really does. This is an aspect that makes you feel like if you have problems in one aspect of your life, they seem to kind of sort of move into other aspects of your life. So home, career, relationships, etc. It just seems like one thing after another popping up. And this can get a little bit intense and heavy, but the good news is that Uranus is grand sextile with Mercury as it moves out of Gemini, and also Jupiter and Venus really give you a boost of energy and lend you a helping hand with that difficult aspect when it comes to bringing together the support that you need in your relationships, in your supportive relationships, both professional and personal. When everything is getting a little bit heavy, you need those people there to support you, and you definitely are going to have that this week. And all of this support is moving you towards your goals and dreams and doing exactly what you want to do. So the big thing is, when the difficulties come up, don't let that be your whole focus. If that's your whole focus, you're doomed at that point because you're stuck in the negative. Look towards the positives that you can see in these situations. They may be a little difficult to see sometimes, but when you're deliberately looking for the positives, you spend less time thinking about the negatives, and that's what's going to make you successful. So you guys have a great week with that. Taurus, when it comes to your goals and dreams and ideas and all of those awesome things that you would just love to do, money always becomes a major factor in these things. Anything that you want to do, chances are there's some money in there that needs to be spent in order to really truly get what you want. And money becomes sort of the root of all evil because it seems to be something that's needed for absolutely everything. Thus it winds up having this power over you that you would really rather it didn't have. But this week it's really important to focus on the aspects of these goals that you can achieve without having to have a lot of money invested into it. The money will come when it's supposed to come, but the truth of the matter is that you don't always need money in order to achieve your goals. Want to go to school? There's grants for that. There's student loans for that. You don't have to have the cash on hand right now. There's other steps that you can take in order to achieve that goal and maybe need the money later on. This is really going to be an important lesson for you, especially as we get towards the end of the week when the part of fortune comes into your sign and brings you some luck when it comes to money. So it's not that the money's not coming. The money always will come. It just may not be coming exactly when you want it. So change your focus about money. Does money have power over you, or do you have the power over money? This really is a very personal choice that you need to make. And when it comes down to it, you should have the power over the money and not in the reverse. So you guys have a great week with that. Gemini, how would you like everything to just run smoothly? Wouldn't that be awesome? That's what it's all about for you this week, as Mercury forms a grand sextile with Uranus, Jupiter, and Venus. And it's not just about loving what you do, but having all of that beautiful and loving support there and available to you to get the things done that you need to get done. And that certainly is definitely something to celebrate. With Mercury's retrograde not that far away, it's only been a couple of weeks since it's been over, and all of the different aspects that have been going on in your sign, this is definitely the break, the big break that you guys have been waiting for. Clear communication is super important to attaining your goals this week. And when it comes to people working together and everybody working together and everything running smoothly like a well-oiled machine, you want to make sure that your communication is as clear as possible to avoid any disruptions or malfunctions in the system and keep everything flowing in the direction that you want it to flow, the positive direction that is that you want it to flow. When it comes down to it, you've got all the energy that you need to get things done, and now you have the support that you need to get things done. So really, it doesn't matter how many irons you got in the fire this time, guys, because you're going to succeed no matter what. So you guys have a great week with that. Cancer. As the Sun and Mars move into your sign, they also move into opposition with Pluto this week. And by the end of the week, this becomes a T-square as Uranus becomes involved in this aspect also. And this is going to create some difficulties for you within the next couple of weeks as the Sun and Mars kind of sort of move through your sign. It is going to be a little bit of a difficulty when it feels like issues with home, issues with career, and then even relationships pop up for you, as this aspect has a tendency to do in the situations that these planets are currently in right now. It can be a very heavy time for you and a very difficult time, and it's gonna make you feel like nobody can take care of anything. You've got to fix all the problems in the world. Everybody's coming to you, and it's going to make you feel like you want a vacation and somebody else to step in and take care of the world's problems for once, so that you can take a break or maybe even focus on some of the things that you want to focus on. At the same time, the Sun and Mars are moving into trine position with Neptune, giving you a little bit more time in your schedule and showing you that using your intuition to get through these different obstacles really is beneficial. And also showing you how much you're stepping into these positions of saving the world, not necessarily being asked to. You Cancers love to be helpful, and it's part of how you show your love in being helpful and providing service to others. At the same time, though, you have a tendency to jump in and want to fix everything for people just a little bit too much. So this week's aspect is really showing you that you don't have to be the one to jump in and save everybody. Sometimes they need to wait about it on their own, and the truth is, you're actually doing them a service by allowing them to do it on their own. They're learning at the same time because you're not in there doing it for them. It is not selfish for you to focus on your career goals or whatever goals you have right now. You do deserve to do that just like everybody else. So don't let everybody else's problems become the excuse that you're looking for not to make the awesome progress that you want to. So you guys, yes, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but I know you guys are definitely going to get through it. So you guys have a great week with that. Leo, Saturn moves into squared position with Jupiter and Venus in your sign this week, and it's definitely going to make you feel like some old issues are coming up in some of the relationships around you. And these old issues are definitely issues that you thought you were long done with a long time ago. Definitely going to be a frustration when these things do come up. But at the same time, Jupiter and Venus form a grand sextile with Uranus and Mercury, showing you how you can wade through the situation. If it's an old situation and it's coming up again, chances are it's not done with in the first place, and that's why it's coming up again, ultimately. When it comes down to it, you can clearly communicate your feelings and your needs in order to make the changes you need to make without being rude or hurtful to the other person. Speak your truth. You never know if you may be helping that individual through something that they need help through as well. And really, when it comes down to it, it's better for you because you're not holding it in and internalizing it and making it a part of you that's painful to you, a part of you that's going to be an obstacle later on, or going to create an obstacle later on for you to be able to move forward. You don't need any more obstacles. You need the freedom to be able to do what you want to do. So when this little old issue comes up, be brave and speak your truth. Speak clearly, but speak with words of love. And you'll be able to take this little issue that's been ongoing in the past and nip it in the bud forever. So you guys have a great week with that. Virgo, you're going to be finding yourself in the position for the next couple of weeks where old things are going to be coming up, and that's just never fun when these old issues are coming up. And they're generally old emotional issues or emotional patterns that have a tendency to come into your life and get in the way of your being able to progress further on into your life. At the same time, the dark moon is coming into your sign this week to prove to you that your life isn't just full of negativity, or your life isn't just full of these old things that come up deliberately to stop you over and over and over again. This really is all about mindsets and perceptions when it comes down to it. And these old roots, if they're still hooked and you're still feeling the pain, chances are you haven't released the root yet, and this is why these things come up, unfortunately. For most people, actually for all people when you think about it. I can't get away from it. Nobody can get away from it. They keep coming up until we deal with them. So this week, the dark moon is in there trying to let you know that these are coming up so you can deal with them. Let them go. When they come up and you can identify the root of the situation, whatever it is that you have to do to let it go. Be it writing a letter and writing all your feelings out so you can burn that letter and release the feelings and not have them hook you and keep you in the same place anymore, or whether you decide to go a different route, which is changing your thought process altogether, which does take practice. You can't change it overnight. It takes constant practice. Whatever you need to do, the point is when these situations come up, it's really difficult to not feel or not want to feel like everything is crap for you all the time. But that's exactly the perception that needs to be changed. So you have a difficulty, it's not a big deal. Shoo it off like it's an annoying old fly and move on with your life. And whatever you do, what your focus is the amazing things that you can get out of life, not the crummy things that happen to you. So you guys, do a good job and have a great week with that. Libra, it's time to take a look into the past to see how far you've come to the person that you are now this week. We're moving into a time where it really is all about you, and as we move into that time, it's always a good time to take a look backwards. Now, a lot of people say if you live in the past, you don't want to live in the past, and I totally agree with that. You never should live in the past, but it is always a good idea to look back and see where you've come from. When you're able to do this, it really helps you out, especially when in the current moment you may be feeling as if you're not accomplishing everything that you wanted to accomplish, or you're not doing enough. Looking back at where you've come from helps show you where you started, where you've been, all the steps that you've put towards where you are right now. And you can actually see, it gives you the opportunity to be able to see all the work you've actually put into accomplishing what you have today. And it also opens up and shows you just how much more you can accomplish later on. So looking to the past is not necessarily a bad thing. It's a boost in confidence, really, because it's showing you just how much work you've already put into it. And it would be stupid to stop now. And the truth is, it takes a lot of work to be successful. But then again, you Libras don't really sit around and do anything either. So you guys have done a great job. You're going to continue to do a great job. And as soon as you understand that, the more of a great job you're going to do. So have a great week with that, guys. Scorpio, as Saturn moves into squared position with Jupiter and Venus, you may find yourself having some frustrations in different relationships, especially those that profess to love you. When you find yourself in these frustrations of feeling like these relationships are never going to change and the difficulties are there forever, that perception right there is really going to keep those difficulties staying there forever, basically. But when it comes down to it, the big thing that you want to remember is what responsibilities are you taking on in this relationship. It's one thing to own up to your own responsibilities in a relationship. You did something wrong, own up to it. Own your responsibility. But if someone is trying to put those responsibilities of their mistakes on you, you have every right not to take them. They're not yours, and that's what it comes down to. Don't let anybody else hand you the responsibility of their problems when really they're the ones that need to be dealing with them. You do deserve to live the amazing and awesome life that you want to live without having to allow other people to come in and make you feel like you shouldn't be living that life. You stay true to you because that's what you need to do for you. And those others that have had maybe their past failures or their past issues, that's their problem, not yours, and you don't have to take responsibility for that. So you guys have a great week with that. Sagittarius, this week is full of ideas, and all this time spent in your mind can either be productive or destructive. It is your choice. When it comes down to it this week, you may have all these ideas just running through your head. Too many to really deal with at one time. So it's really important to write these ideas down so that you can come back to them later on. And then stop thinking about them. When you start mulling them over in your head over and over and over again, you run the risk of, unfortunately, losing the idea altogether and not being able to do anything with it. And that's not very successful at all. You want to be successful. And in my opinion, a lot of the ideas that come into my head are straight from my guides. They gave me some of the most fantastic ideas by simply plopping it into my head. And what happens after that for many people is they get the idea and then they think about it and they overthink it and then they get lost in it, and then the overthinking process really makes them feel like it's not really a good idea anyways. Write these ideas down when you get them, and then do nothing more but put the work in to see what you can do in order to manifest these ideas into realities. Don't overthink them. Overthinking them is definitely going to kill a really good idea, and then you're going to feel like you're chasing your tail all the time, and that's just frustrating and it gets you nowhere. You want to be successful? Let the idea come to you, write it down, and do something about it. And that is your motto for this week. So you guys have a great week with that. Capricorn, Pluto moves into opposition with the Sun and Mars this week, and by the end of the week it's a full-on T-squared position as Uranus also moves into that position as well. It really is for you Capricorns and Pluto because Pluto's already squared with Uranus. But as Uranus starts to square with the Sun and Mars at the end of the week, it becomes a full-on T-square, and it is going to be a difficult one, especially when it feels like frustrations at home are moving into frustrations in your career, and then as this T-square comes together, it's frustrations in your relationship. So it's just an all-around frustrations moving from one place to another. This really gets out of hand for a lot of people, especially when a frustration in one aspect of your life kind of moves into another and into another, and then you start to feel buried by all of this crummy stuff that just keeps coming up and happening around you. But at the same time, Pluto's aspect with Neptune is the lifesaver here, reminding you to use your intuition, and no matter what happens, take that time for you. You got to take that step back and take that time for you every now and then in order to clear your mind, ground and bubble yourself, and clear away your frustration so that you can come back to the situation with a clear mind and not quite so emotionally involved in the situation. this is what makes the frustrations bigger. It literally feeds the frustration. You got to have that clear time, whether it's 10 minutes to meditate or a half an hour, just time to yourself, read a book, whatever it is that you need to do, just so that you can shake off those frustrations and come back to it and deal with it with a clear head. And even if you've got to take several breaks a day to yourself, it's definitely worth it to you to do so, because it lessens the frustration and it also helps to stop it spreading so far and wide when it comes to your life. It won't take over your entire life. So yes, it's going to be a little bit of a difficulty for you guys, but you know what? Nobody can handle it better than you Capricorns. Just make sure to take that time for you so that you don't let the frustration overtake you. And you guys have a great week with that. Aquarius, spending time with those you love this week turns work time into fun time. And everybody loves some fun time every now and then. Taking care of those that you love doesn't always have to be a job. Sometimes, actually most of the time, it should be also a lot of fun in the process. And even if you're doing something that's mundane or something that's maybe not a whole ton of fun, at the same time you can make it fun with these people, because really they are the inspiration. They have a huge impact on your mood, lifting your spirit sometimes when you get frustrated. And that kind of fun, or that source of fun with those most important people in your life, is always the break that you need from so much focus on work sometimes. The Aquarians, if any of you Aquarians are like me, you're never looking away from what it is that you're doing. And you need these people every now and then to be able to counterbalance that, because all work and no play makes even the Aquarian frustrated. So this week it is all about enjoying and spending time with those that you love, and not just because you have to, but because you want to at the same time. So you guys, have a great week with that. And finally, Pisces. It's been so nice this week, after so many weeks and months with these difficult squared positions with Mercury and the Sun and Saturn going on for the last several months. I can finally report that there is a square-free week for you guys. Actually, with Neptune trine with the Sun and Mars, big things are going to be happening for you guys, because you have the time to shine when it comes to your career. It's all about ideas, new ideas, or making progress when it comes to your career, and in many cases your dreams and goals. And with Mars there, you definitely have the boost of energy and the fire lit under your rear to get things done. So when it comes down to it, excuses are out the window. It's just basically time for business, and it's time to get through those little hang-ups that we've had the last few months and really start to see some progress for yourselves. So you guys, enjoy some square free time. Enjoy some free time from the difficult aspects, and really do something with this energy. And you guys have a great week with that. Thanks so much for listening to the horoscopes this week. I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic, and don't forget to check out our website and our Facebook pages. Of course, the Heavy Metal Psychic radio show every single Friday night, and everything else that's going on. Also, you want to make sure that you are a part of our Grateful Fairy Wings Faithfuls group on Facebook. We are announcing some brand new classes coming up here in a couple of weeks. We've got mediumship, personal development, and astrology, and all 3 levels of most of those classes going up right now. But you won't know unless you're a member of the group. So come check it out and take some classes. You never know what kind of awesomeness you might be able to learn for yourself in these classes. So I'm going to sign off for this week, and I hope you guys have a great week.